Hi there, and welcome in to Still a Hero, powered by USAA. My name is Randy Miller, and every week we have great conversations with people who have led in the military and continue to lead in their community. And we got another great one for you today. Hey, welcome into Still a Hero, powered by USAA. My name is Randy Miller. And we have some great conversations. This has been such a great series. And another great person to talk to today, Major General Bob LaBrutta is here, 38-year career in the Air Force. He ultimately oversaw force management policy for more than 500,000 personnel, and with his current highly intimate mission, leading USAA's Enterprise Survivor Relations Team. And this is something very special. Major General, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Randy, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Hey, I want to ask you, we love to start with this question. What was the thing those years ago that inspired you to join the military?
Well, I come from the school of hard knocks, Randy. I'm not the traditional officer. I had dropped out of college to find my wealth in oil in Corpus Christi, Texas. So I was down there roughnecking it. And the only good thing that I found during that time frame was the girl of my dreams, Leslie, my wife now of 44 years. But she had some conditions for me because I was not, let's just say I wasn't on the path that I needed to be for her to have comfort. And so she said, hey, you got to get your life together and you got to have a career plan, et cetera. And my dad, he had retired from the Air Force. I grew up as a military brat and I kept it on the sidelines, but I had 45 hours of college credit. I wanted to go back to school. I needed a career. And so that led me to the doorsteps of the gateway of the Air Force at Lackland Air Force Base, now JBSA Lackland. And in August 26, 1981, I entered the gateway and it changed my life considerably. I tell everybody I was a two-striper that became a two-star general. Then I retired in 2019. I became a two-striper all over again.
Oh, it's a great story. You know, the Air Force has always been so intriguing to me, so fascinating. I love the air shows. I actually got to fly as a member of the media with the Blue Angels about 20 years ago. And it was I tell everybody, it's the safest I've ever felt in an aircraft. And it was just remarkable. That is one word I think that you can always associate with the Air Force is precision, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes throughout every single career field and community in all the services. But of course, I'm partial to the Air Force, and I'm glad you had a chance to ride with the Blue Angels. But the best demonstration pilots in the world are the Air Force Thunderbirds, in my humble opinion.
How did I know you were going to say that?
So yeah, honestly, all of them are just incredible, and to watch them do their jobs. And I would say that if you can take anybody, a mechanic on the flight line, an admin specialist in the backside of what we're doing in the Air Force, a personnelist, or those folks that are out there in the missile silos right now, they have to be great at their jobs because they know that everything is on the line.
So, Bob, let me ask you this: 38-year career. You've gotten to see a lot of technological advances. You've gotten to see a lot of differences in strategy and the way that the Air Force prepares for every mission. That in itself is fairly mind-boggling, I'm sure. But talk about some of those kind of changes, if you will, in the Air Force to kind of where things are when you started and where they are now.
Well, I was an admin specialist when I first went into the Air Force, the 702B shred. So I was like Radar O'Reilly, right? Back in the days of MASH. And we were typing on electric typewriters. So we had just moved from manual to electric when I went in. And then all of a sudden we had these Z100 computer systems that came in. And so I was, typing on a typewriter that you had to use a ball, and then you had to actually, if you made a mistake, you have to get this white out and all those kind of things. Then you transition into a Z100, and my goodness, was that a big change. We went from cards to, systems, and so from that to get to the very end of my career in 2019, where we had advanced systems, cyber, all of the things that are in play right now. And quite frankly, I'm going to tell you, over the course of the last 7 years since I retired, now that we're into AI and everything related to that, it's been full spectrum. And what's really been very interesting is that not every system, not every platform works the way that it's intended. But I tell you what, we've got some professionals that work diligently with the third parties that are out there to bring the best of the best in so that our systems and platforms are ready on a moment's notice when we need them most. And as you know, with what's going on in the world right now, they're being utilized.
Yeah, and the great thing about that though, Bob, is that it always leads back to people, right? I mean, whether it's AI, technology, strategy, different systems, you still have to depend on the person in charge and the team that's working the mission, and that is something that will never change.
No, absolutely. And that is the heartbeat of anything, whatever the organization is. I don't care if it's a small mom and pop, company or it's a gigantic, Fortune 500 organization. It all comes down to the people. And throughout my career, I changed from being an administrative specialist into a HR talent management professional in the Air Force. And that was the career field that I went up in. And so the biggest job that we have is to make sure that we're recruiting and retaining the best of the best, so that they can step into the breach when the time comes, deliver for our country and for their fellow airman, soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Coast Guard member or guardian. And that's what it's really all about, is making sure that we are bringing the best of the best into those professional career fields so that when the balloon goes up, we can deliver for this nation. Then I have the opportunity now in USAA. I'm the vice president of survivorship. And so the survivor relations team is very, very akin to the Department of Defense's casualty affairs teams, so that when a member or a family member of one of our members passes away, it's my team that comes in and actually helps them through the process to make sure that we take the best of care for them, exceptional service, trusted advice, financial security that they not only have earned because they're either military members, veterans, or family members, but they deserve because of the sacrifices they've made for us and for our great nation.
Yeah, that's incredible. We're talking to Major General Bob LaBrutta here on Still a Hero. And let's talk about that a little bit, Bob. To have that kind of a role, it takes a special person. I mean, to go into a situation like that with a family and family members, a lot of times I'm sure they have no idea what to do, just logistically, the path forward. What is the initial kind of contact that your team makes for USAA?
Well, it's very elegant, the way that it was designed. And let me give you a little history on it. In 1992, if you remember Desert Storm, the projections of the deaths during that time frame when we would go boots on ground were staggering. And so the forefathers in USAA said, "Hey, we've got to have the capability to be able to address that because a lot of those folks are our members." And they created this survivor relations team under a different, name, but it has been in place since 1992. And I'm going to tell you, I've got 230 folks. You talk about the best of the best. They have to be at their best because every single phone call they're on the other side of the line, there's somebody that is calling in during the worst time in their life, right? So the way that we work this strategy is we will always answer a call for a member that calls in. But if we learn that a member has fallen or has passed away, we give a 20-day period of time because, as you know, if you've lost anybody, there's so many things that are going on in your life, and trying to deal with those things is very, very difficult, the emotions and everything else. So we try to wait until they are ready. On day 21 is when we will formally reach out to the member to offer our assistance with whatever they need with USAA. And so I call it the golden hour because, and I monikered that because if you think of a combat situation when our warriors go down on in combat, if we're able to get into them and deliver on medevac within a 1 hour period of time, they call that the golden hour, and the survivor rate is 99%, right? And this 21 days, I didn't know anything about SRT until I actually, and I'm a 39-year member, right? I did not know that we had survivor relations team, but I'm so honored to have the opportunity to lead this group of professionals, and that's how we do it. We wait for the member to call in, or on day 21, we will actually call out, make that contact with the member, and then we take care of them through USAA lines of business. And our whole intention here is just to make sure that we deliver with compassionate care, exceptional service, and make sure that we give them a helping hand and a shoulder that they need to be able to get through that very difficult time in their lives.
Yeah, that's an incredible. It's an incredible thing that that USAA has done. I didn't know it was around since '92. And the thing that always strikes me about USAA, Bob, is they don't have to do this. I mean, it's a company with members, like a lot of companies with members, but they always seem to go the extra mile. I was talking to a USAA member, a longtime member, the other day about a couple of past shows that we've done. They had no idea that those programs existed at USAA, and it's just. It's got to make you, number one, proud to work for a company like that, but very gratified in that kind of thing that they do.
Yeah, and what's really amazing, Randy, quite frankly, I didn't know. I thought that I wanted to be part of USAA when I retired. I tried for 4.5 years to get into this place, as an employee, and they kept on coming back saying, "Hey, you need to improve your resume." And so I consulted for a period of time. Then I joined this great small Department of Defense company. I actually filled out my resume a little bit better through those experiences, and when I came back to compete for this job, it made me a better candidate. Let's just put it that way. But what I found, because I didn't know, you hear about the core values that we have in the military service and whether or not they translate into USAA. I will tell you to the person, we have 38,000 folks that are part of this great organization. There is not a person that's in this organization that isn't giving their very best every single day to try to deliver. Now, we'll stub our toe now and then, but if we do, we will come back to the member and try to make that as good as we possibly can. And I think it goes back to the founding of this company 104 years ago when 25 officers came together from the Army and said, "Hey, we can't get insurance anywhere else. We're going to start this capability for ourselves." And they built it based on the foundations of those core values. We live it, we breathe it. And oh, by the way, if you're part of this organization and you're not going to deliver that kind of performance, then you're probably not going to be part of USAA for a career. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. It's really something when they come to a major general and say you need to fill out your resume a little a little more there, Major. I mean, that's some credentials that USAA looks for. I mean, they certainly do try to find and exact the highest standards when they're looking for people. I want to talk about what you guys do with Gold Star families and TAPS. I know you work closely with them in their programs. What does that relationship look like?
Well, I have the honor, not only am I leading the survivor relations team, but I'm also the executive sponsor for our Gold Star working group. And so we have a working group of volunteers within USAA. They're doing this, because they know how important and what the Gold Star family is all about. And the reverence that they have and what we try to do is it's really an education and training platform for our employees so that they understand what a Gold Star family is, so that when we're reaching out and we're making conversations with those folks, they have an understanding of what that was all about. We also have an incredible relationship with Bonnie Carroll and her TAPS organization. And I'll tell you what, that's a Gold Star, spouse right there. And Bonnie and her team are magnificent. And in fact, we leverage Bonnie's team. They have a resiliency program, a resiliency training program that we have a great relationship and we partner with them. And Bonnie sends her trainers in. And in fact, that's what's going on today. We're breaking up the day into two sessions. My SRT professionals are in those resiliency training seminars. And it makes a world of difference. One, it helps to actually bolster them because I'm going to every phone call is a very tough phone call.
Hmm.
It helps them with their resiliency, but then there's a commonality, and the folks that are part of Bonnie's, program are all Gold Star family members pretty much. And so they bring that knowledge into us so that we can enhance our skill set in having those conversations with members that have had family members that have been lost. So it's extraordinary. And so, yeah, both of those efforts that we've got going on in USAA are critically important to us. Every member is important to us, but the Gold Star family, that is something that is a special symbol for all of us in the Department of War, and we need to make sure that we're paying honor and tribute to that as well. And that's what we do in USAA.
Yeah, I've talked to Bonnie before. Bonnie's a powerhouse. And
Wow.
she, are you talking about getting it done? And Bob, I know you guys have a special day at USAA every year that you honor those families and those family members. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there's a couple of times during the year, but you're talking about in the spring.
Right.
And what we do is that's our big opportunity as the Gold Star Working Group to make sure that we're making that formal connection with the employees in the association. And so, I've got a great group of people, and they'll put together whatever the program is. We have so many different things that we do, but on that special day, we'll traditionally put together a panel. The panel will consist of probably Gold Star family members. This last year, we not only had Gold Star family members on the stage, one of my SRT professionals was on the stage along with the Joint Base San Antonio chaplain, and we brought him in to give their perspective, to help them understand how those conversations go. And then when you hear from a Gold Star spouse or a Gold Star child, the resonance of their stories and the resilience that they have on living their lives to the fullest, it just makes such a wonderful impact. And the feedback that we receive from our employees is absolutely out of the world,
Hmm.
as it always would be. But it's a special thing that we do, and it's wonderful to be a part of it.
Yeah, and that's an idea and um, kind of a design of a lot of military folks that come out and want to continue their service and find a place and find a purpose and get that new mission. And I would imagine for you, Bob, this has really taken the place of not taking the place of the military, obviously, but has given you that kind of purpose and direction, right?
Yeah, it's an amazing journey, Randy. I'm not kidding about, two stars back to two stripes. I mean, um, I had two people that reached out to me when I retired, and when you retire as a major general, everybody's going to think, oh, everything's fine, and when you go through your taps, uh, you know, corporate America can't wait for your leadership. Well, they can, and they're not going to come out and they're not going to get you. There will be certain military senior leaders and experts that are going to be drawn into corporate America, but for most of us, we got to go and make it happen ourselves. And so the transition, a great friend of mine, Dr. Shante Hall here, she's part of Port San Antonio, but she runs a nonprofit called Centurion Military Alliance for transitioning veterans. She was the first one to reach out to me, and then a guy named Chris Cook, a retired colonel, he was the second guy that reached out, and they're the ones that helped me understand that it was going to be okay. But Shantae says that transitions do not discriminate. It doesn't matter what grade you are. I don't care if you get out as an E5 or, an O8 like me. Transitions are difficult, and they are not only difficult on the member, but also difficult on the family because everything you've known for many years and put your heart and passion into
Right.
all of a sudden that's severed and it's a complete sever, right? So what you have to do is you have to find your way. And fortunately for me, I had great mentors on this side of the fence line. I reached out to them. You have to reach out, by the way, Randy. You can't just be insular. You've got to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. And for most of us, we're not used to reaching out, but you have to. And then you latch on and you learn from the folks, the mentors that are willing to pour into you. You listen, you do the hard work, and then all of a sudden a great opportunity will pop out. I loved the company I was with. I really did. RPI Group was the name of the company. They're up in Virginia, and I'm here in San Antonio. But I miss the day-to-day contact, right? USAA had always been there. I tried again. I got another job I tried for, I didn't get, but this one emerged out of that. And when I competed and was selected, didn't know what to expect, but the purpose that had been missing, I found it through RPI Group. Okay, Bob Pleben and Lisa Pleben, that group, unbelievable. They are killing it today. They're doing a great job for the Department of War. But I was down here and I needed that day-to-day opportunity to test my leadership chops. And now I have that. And not only that, the purpose, the mission that we have in USAA that is solely focused on members and making sure that we're doing the best by our members, and our members are the greatest, right? We're talking about military members that are currently serving, our veterans and their families. I'm telling you, there's nothing better. And so, yes, I'm fulfilled. I love what I do. I love the team I'm with. I'm very, very excited about the future of USAA and where we're going, because with Juan Andrade leading us and focusing in on the member and what that's all about, I'm stoked, and I'm absolutely honored to be part of this. And I'll let anybody out there know that if you want to be part of a great association, this is the one that you want to try to join. And then for all those that are out there that can be members of USAA, I highly encourage you to take a hard look at us because we do it right.
It's a quality. I mean, everybody you talk to about USAA, whether they're a member or not, they know the quality and the integrity that USAA stands for. And Bob, as you're talking about that, I mean, I feel your passion for this. What is your leadership style? Let's talk about that a little bit in terms of military leadership and now your leadership in a different way, I would assume, at USAA.
Yes. Well, that is one of the school of hard knocks that I learned on this side of the fence lines. And quite frankly, I learned it as I was going through the process. I was consulting, okay? And so I was a consultant before I joined RPI Group. I was their senior consultant. And there was one individual that I just was not making a good connection with. For whatever reason, I couldn't figure it out. I'm going, gee. His name's Michael Medina. He's now the CFO of RPI Group. And so when I made my trip up to Virginia, I said, "Hey, Michael, you got a minute?" He says, "Sure." I said, I just want to talk to you. So we went behind in an office and I said, "What's going on here? I'm not making a connection. I don't feel it." And he goes, "You want to know the truth?" I said, "I sure do. That's why I'm here." He goes, "You're no longer a general officer. You're not the CEO. You're not the COO. You are, for crying out loud, you're a consultant. You're too authoritative. You're too directive. You need to back off."
Wow.
Right? Oh, yeah. Now, there's two ways that you can take that kind of feedback.
Sure.
Fortunately for me, he was absolutely right. Even though I didn't believe that I was coming off that way, the perception I had of myself was not of what he had, and probably others as well that weren't willing to tell me. And so what I had to do is I had to learn a different style, a different approach to blend into the culture I was trying to join. God works in mysterious ways, Randy. And that conversation with him set me back. I did a 360 and I started working on myself to be able to be more collaborative, more partner oriented, more team, not standing out, not being directive in nature. That does not work in corporate America. And for those of us that don't understand that, we come up to a reckoning, and hopefully you'll have a Michael Medina that's out there that is willing to give you that feedback, and you listen to the feedback, and then you make the adjustments you need so that you can be effective in the new culture you're trying to join.
Wow. That is so interesting, Bob. And I don't seem to have that problem. People don't seem to have a problem telling me exactly what they think of me on a daily basis, including my wife of 43 years.
Oh, that's my big critic. And she's going, I told you, I mean, Leslie would have been the first. So she was probably the first, and Michael was the second. But yeah, that was a great leadership lesson that I learned through him.
Oh, that's so good. Bob, it's so great to talk to you, man. I just really value what you're doing at USAA and everything that they do for military families. It just seems like every single day we learn more about opportunities like those at USAA. What would be the best way for people to find out about your team and what you're doing?
Well, we have a great, website out there, USAA, .com. And if you go to the advice, we've got tabs at the top, and there's an advice tab. You can go to the advice tab, click on that, and then you'll see Lost of Loved One webpage that comes up. That's probably the best way to learn a little bit. What's really amazing is that we do have some really good we have a great checklist that's out there to help people that are going to go through this. I just went through it myself. My brother passed away last year. And so not only am I leading this team, I had to lean on this team to help me through that time frame. And so a wonderful checklist to help all members and families that are out there that are going to deal with the loss of a loved one. And, God forbid it happen anytime soon, but it's going to happen to all of us.
Yeah.
The more that we can be prepared for that, the better we will be for our families that we're going to be leaving behind to deal with this. And so I highly encourage everybody to do some homework. And actually, it's a very, very difficult topic, right? To sit down with your
Right.
family members. We're doing that now. I've got two daughters that don't want any conversation related to this, but we have to sit down with them, and we have to do the right thing for them so that when the time comes and the day will be there, they're better prepared to deal with that, so that they can get on with their lives. And that's what we try to do, and we try to help them every step of the way. I'm telling you, it's a magnificent capability that we have. It's a differentiator, and I love being a part of it.
Well, Major General Bob LaBrutta, thank you so much for your 38 years of service, and you are still a hero.
Well, thank you very much, Randy. But the heroes are the people that we support. I'm not a hero. They are the folks that are out there on the front lines of freedom, delivering for our nation right now. All those that have given up the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, all those that have given pieces and parts of them and their families, those are the real heroes. And we have an opportunity to be able to pay it forward, to be able to take care of them when they need us most.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you so much for being here for Still a Hero, powered by USAA. My name is Randy Miller, and every week we have great conversations with military leaders and people now still leading in their communities. Thank you.